I have saved the best for last. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can do ultraviolet induced visible fluorescence photography. It's a mouthful, but let's get started. Welcome to the Winter Studio Project Week 8. This is the final project in this series for this year, and we're going to be playing with ultraviolet light. But let's talk about the different types of UV photography. You've got the more technical version of the UV photography where you need a camera that is converted to see the ultraviolet rays in the light spectrum. That's not what we're going to be doing in this video. What we're going to be doing is the more common type, which is we're going to be using an ultraviolet light to create a reaction off a substance or a material, and then we're going to photograph the visible light that comes off of that reaction. This is called ultraviolet induced visible fluorescence photography. In short, we shine a UV light at something and it glows. Just like you do if you take a UV light into a hotel bathroom and you see all the pee all over the walls. First of all, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the budget. In all these projects, I've tried to keep the budget as low as possible, but this particular one has an exception because the more expensive the UV torch, the better your results will be. Yes, you can go get a £5 or £10 UV torch off Amazon, but quite frankly, it's basically just a purple LED torch. You need to buy a high quality light. I started off with one of these. This is a Convoy S2 Plus UV torch. This cost me about £75 for this torch. We might use that in this video, but primarily for this video I am going to be using the Adaptalux system along with two of their UV arms. This does have a bit of a budget attached to it, but if you really want to get into this type of photography, you need to fork out for decent equipment. And of course, UV rays are dangerous to you. This is why you wear suntan lotion when you go outside. So do please buy some UV protection glasses. You can pop these on so that any UV rays are not going to our eyes because it can cause damage. Also, you don't want to be shining the UV torches directly into your camera equipment either. Although they are low intensity, they are still very much more powerful than what you'd get going outside. So that's the safe stuff out the way. Again, I can't be held responsible if you do something stupid trying to follow along with this video. First of all, again, I'm going to come back to the budget of UV torches and UV protection. Make sure you've got good protection. So if you take a look just here, okay, you can see the UV light. If you've got good protection, it will block out that UV light. This is my UV torch. You can see it blocking out the light, but at the same time you can also see a little bit of purple light. That is visible light that is polluting the scene. This is why the more expensive lights are better. Take a look at the Adaptalux. You can see there how my goggles block out almost all of the light, and there's very little visible light. If you buy a $10 one off Amazon, you're going to find that there's a lot of purple light that is just polluting your image, and your images are just not going to look good. So do invest in a decent light. But as you can see, my glasses are perfectly adequate for this job. Now, I'm not the best at explaining all of this to you. However, if you go down into the description, you'll find a couple of links to the Adaptalux website that goes over in very much more detail about what this type of photography is and the safety precautions you need to make. So head down there, check out those videos as well, and do give them a subscribe. They do some great macro photography videos. So let's get started with some UV light photography. What I want to do is I want to show you a flare, the difference between visible and the UV light. So for that, I am going to be using my platypod system. So I have a platypod extreme. On top of it, I'm going to put my ball head. Anyone who's subscribed to the channel for a while have seen this setup. It's exactly the same as the setup I use for my insects. I have a platy disc, which is basically a disc that is Arca Swift compatible. That goes into my tripod head there. And then on top of there, we're going to place a mini super clamp. Links to all of the items I use in this video are in the description below. Of course, you can do some research. Google flares that fluoresce under UV light, and you can pick a particular flare that fluoresces. The pollen from flares also fluoresces under UV light. But that's going to be our flare. Next, I need to set up my pod. So I'm going to use another platypod extreme with an elbow. and this is the Adaptalux pod. This is basically the brains of the system. This has the batteries, it's got all the circuitry, it's got all the brains of it. We're going to be connecting this to my iPhone to control the power from this pod. I'm going to pop that on there. It has a screw hole there for mounting onto standard camera equipment. I would advise you, if you do buy one of these, buy the adapter so that you can fit it onto your cold shoe on your camera as well. And into there we can put our UV lights, and they do turn on. I wish, and Ben can tell me if I'm doing this wrong, I wish they didn't turn on when you plug them in. Let me just go into the app now. I'm just going to turn them off because I'm just wasting power. I mean, I'm not in danger of anything, but we want to just turn them off. I'm using the Adaptalux app to connect to the pod, and then I could turn them on and off. You can also adjust the brightness of the UV lights. So let's connect to the Adaptalux. Okay, so I'm going to control this with the app. Yep, they are now off. So with my phone I can control the lights, the power of the lights, turn them on and off and things like that. Makes it a little bit easier to deal with. So what I want to do first is I want to take a picture of this flower using visible light, and then I'm going to take a picture of it using UV light so you can see the difference. So we have my camera, I'll bring it in, and I don't recommend you use the center column when doing this. You use your tripod legs. However, I can't do that because I'm limited, because I'm trying to record and show you what I'm doing. So I'm just going to use the center column. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to angle this flower a little bit so we can see the center. I only want to see the center. Okay, so I'm going to drop my f-stop down. We don't need it at f8 at the moment. I'm going to go to 4. Yeah, one stop above 3.5. At 3.5 the 90 is a little bit soft. At least mine is. Unlike previous videos, I'm going to trust the camera's exposure meter, and I do have night vision turned on as well, by the way. Okay, let's do that. We're on a 2-second timer, and we're going to take a picture. Okay, so next I'm going to turn on the Adaptalux pod. I'm going to put it to a maximum power as well. When you turn them on, they default to 50%. That's at maximum power. And these arms are bendable, so you just bend them. We're going to bring these around. I want it so it's not visible in the scene. Let's bring it to a bit more. Oh, there we go. Now, initially, you're not going to see no difference because they're not very powerful, UV lights aren't. So what we got to do now is we need to turn off all of the studio lights, all of them. I can't turn off the background monitor, so I'm going to have a little bit late, but if you're doing this at home, you turn off all your lights and we'll take a picture using just the UV lights. And again, we're not photographing the UV light, we're photographing the fluorescence that is occurring when you shine a UV light at some certain objects. But before we dive into the next part, I just want to say a massive thank you to my Patreon supporters. Your generosity makes making these type of videos possible, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you'd like to join the community and get access to exclusive content, behind the scenes updates and more, check out my Patreon. The link is in the description below. So there we can see our flower, and it is fluorescing under a UV light. So I'm going to trust that the camera's exposure meter is correct, and I'm just going to take a picture. And you noticed from the UVIVF it's a 15-second exposure. So again, these lights are not very powerful, but that is the nature of UV photography. So there we have a before and after. I find it very difficult to do this. I'm on floorboards. Often I get camera shakes. So if you do see some camera shakes because of my floorboards, make sure you're on a stable platform to do this. So I'm going to turn off the pods with the UV lights. So what we want to do now is we want to do something a little bit more interesting. What we're going to do is we're going to be doing water droplets, but we're going to be using water that fluoresces under a UV light. I didn't put my glasses on. Do as I say, not what I do, okay? I must remember to put my glasses on. Right, so the easiest thing that you can do for that is to go get yourself some tonic water. I'm going to grab my torch now. You see how that glows? Glows nicely under a UV light. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, we're going to position this flower in such a way that we can place a water droplet onto it. Okay, let's put it there. And I'm wondering if I can get a water droplet right on the edge here, maybe. I'm going to bring up the shutter speed just so that the UVIVF is reacting quicker than what it is at the moment. And I'm thinking, yeah, let's pop it onto, and get a syringe so you can see. I'm going to try and pop it onto one of these petals just here. So let's get some tonic water out. Okay, now this is fizzy tonic water. Ideally, I'd want still tonic water because the bubbles gather inside my syringe. But I'm going to now put a drop on, let's have a look. What about just there? What about just there? Yeah, let's bring that in and focus on that drop. Okay. I'm also going to increase my f-stop. I'm going to put it to about, let's say f8. And I will also turn on my depth of field preview, which you can see by the green icon above my f-stop. So we have that tonic water just there. Very hard to see it in there, but if we shine a UV light on it, look, it's going to glow. Okay. And it looks like it's in focus. Close enough. I'm going to turn these lights off. We're going to turn on the Adaptalux and we're going to see what this water droplet looks like under a UV light. Glasses on this time. There we go. We're going to turn it on. This is the Adaptalux. Okay, and I'm going to bring him round. Shine on our water droplet. And let's take a picture. What I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to turn off the night vision so we can try and see exactly what we're getting from this exposure. And when it comes to the UV, your light meter's not necessarily going to get it right. So we're going to go with something like that. Let's punch it in. Double check our focusing. And let's take a picture. So that was a 20-second exposure to get that shot. So when it comes to this type of photography, you do need very long exposure. So I've just turned off my Adaptalux. Because another thing we can do is we can find a substance that fluoresces brighter, that will lower your shutter speed and also give an interesting effect. So let's get rid of that flower. Bye. And let's get our old favourite, the Jabroa Daisy, out. Now, let me know in the comments, is it Gerber Daisy or Jabroa Daisy? I always get it confused. Either way, we're going to be having a play with this flower now. So what you want to do is you want to get some highlighter pens. So here's some highlighter pens that I put onto a white paper, and we can see how that glows. You might not be able to see it, to be fair. I'm trying to get to an angle where it's not overexposed, okay? And what you can do is, if you want a lot of ink, then you can go and get a refill cartridge from Amazon. They come in a bottle with the ink that you can use to refill your marker pens. For me, I got these marker pens from a local store, snapped them in half, pulled out the ink filament that's inside, injected some water into it, and then squeezed it into these tubs here. Okay, I have an orange, like that, and I have a yellow. The yellow is really bright, and that's the one we're going to use. So what we're going to do is do exactly the same, except we're going to use this ink. We're going to put a water droplet onto the flower, and we're going to photograph the results. So first of all, I need to get rid of the tonic water. And yes, I did just squirt it on my floor. Doesn't matter. I'm not bothered. Am I bothered? I'm not bothered. Okay, let's get some of that in here now. Now, for this one, I'm just going to go with a single drop, I think. And I'm going to place it directly into the center of the flower. So what I want to do is try and get an image or a composition that I like before I do anything else. Now, I want the center of the flower to be horizontal because we don't want the drop to roll off anywhere. Increase the camera height, bring it so it's facing down. Let's have a look there. What's that going to do? Can we see the center? We can't quite see the center. A little bit more. Something interesting. Let's pop a water drop it in there. Okay. Oh, I still can't see that drop very good, so I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. Yeah, something like that. I'm going to use the rule of thirds to hide the bottom of it. I'm going to punch in the focus, and I'm going quickly because I know for a fact these flowers soak up the waters quite quickly. Oh yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so let's turn off all the lights now, turn on the UV light, and let's take a picture of this water droplet. Now I'm just going to put my needle safety cover back on because I don't want to spike myself. And we're going to turn on these lights. Now you watch this thing glow. Oh, look at that. Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. Look at that. Okay. And it's glowing a kind of green like the predator blood. So what I want to do is I would like to get a little bit more visible light into the scene. But we need to do it without overexposing the drop. So I'm going to bring up my shutter speed a little bit. I'm thinking about 1.7 I'm going to go with. That's a 5-second exposure at f8 and ISO 200. Let's take that picture. Brilliant. I haven't got my glasses on again. I keep forgetting to put my glasses on. I'm so excited. Do put your glasses on, okay? So, yeah, let me turn on these lights now. I'm just going to turn off my Adaptaluxes to save the battery because I am going to go off and I am going to do some more photos that I'm going to show you now. All these images have been taken in the exact same method I have shown you in this video today. And they have been edited using my macro presets. If you're interested in my presets, do check out the link in the description below. It does help to support the channel. So to recap, you want a decent UV torch, not a $10 one off Amazon. It's just going to ruin your images. And you want some protection, even if you don't use it. Definitely use it, okay? If you're going to be doing a lot of this type of photography, definitely use your protection, your eyeglasses. And also, don't shine the UV lights into your camera equipment directly. It can be damaging. So like I said, I'm going to go off and do some more experimentation. We are going to be having a play with this in future videos as well as trying it on some insects, because some insects will glow under a UV light. So we will be doing some insect photography using these Adaptalux UV lights. There's a link in the description to the Adaptalux website. So go check that out if you are interested in this type of photography. If you want to go and check out the other type of lights that this pod supports, it supports normal lights, different color LED lights, and they also have flashes as well for macro photography. And again, do check out their YouTube channel. There's some great videos on there for macro photography. But that's where I'm going to leave this video. Let me know what you thought of this video, the very final and last winter studio, because spring is here. We're going to be going outside soon. So subscribe if you're looking forward to some macro and wildlife photography. But that's where I'm going to leave this video. My name's Stewart. I want to thank you for getting to the end of this video, and I'll see you on the next one.